Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadToRuta.com. Dollar days are here. Dun, da, da. It is so different this time. It is shockingly different from any other time we've ever seen in silver because there is nothing that can stop it. There is nothing that can stop the consumption of silver. There's nothing. Price won't do it. Anything under maybe $1,000 an ounce. Price will not stop the consumption of silver. Unfortunately for the shorts, they've kept silver too low for too long, and it has become a necessary part of our industrial base. That's all I can say. They made a mistake, and they're going to have to pay the price. Pay the piper, shall we say. Maybe not. They might just shut down the COMEX, and we won't know the price of silver. The CRIMEX, as people like to call it. But speaking of the CRIMEX, they did hike the margin requirements on the COMEX for silver by 18% for the December contract, I believe it is, and then different percentages for the other contracts. The reality is silver didn't do anything but go up. That did not happen last time we were like messing around with the big guys. And I want to show you, here is a article from February 3rd, 2001, when silver almost broke $30, and the Rustum Benham of the CFTC came down and said, we had to tamp down the price of silver. Part of that tamp down was this. Listen, silver futures sustained the largest drawdown, with the most active March contract losing $2.70, a decline of 9.17%, and is currently fixed at $26.71. This action followed the Chicago Mercantile Exchange decision to raise the margin requirements needed to trade a single contract of COMEX silver by 18%. Didn't they just do that again? And what is the price of silver doing now? It shot up. Completely different time. The players that are playing in COMEX now, it's not your Joe Schmo traders. This is China. This is Russia. This is the United States. This is exciting. We should just pass through $50 like butter, and then you won't probably be able to buy silver. I was playing golf yesterday with a buddy of mine who bought some silver, and this is what you're going to hear a lot for you silver bugs out there. He goes, oh boy, have you seen the price of silver? I wish I'd bought more. And I'm sitting there going, are you hearing yourself? You wish you bought more. Do you know the price of silver is going to go to 1,000, 2,000, going to go 1-to-1 with gold? You're going to really, really wish you bought more as silver breaks over $50 and all of a sudden we don't know the price of silver. You wish you bought more right now. Now is the time to buy more, because in 6 months you're going to look back at now and say, "Oh my God, I could have got silver at under $100. I could have got silver under $1,000. I should have got silver under $3,000." I don't know what the price of silver will go to, and nobody does, not even Jeff Christian, because silver has never been freely traded. At least in the last 170 years. We're going to find out. I do know the gold-silver ratio should be at least 1-to-1 right now. 1-to-1. And I know a lot of people are going, Bix, you can't say that. You lose credibility. Give me a freaking break. I don't just say it. I back it up. Go read my website, roadtoruta.com. I'll give you 100 reasons why silver and gold should be equal in price. And actually, it's the other way around. You should be able to buy 10 ounces of gold with 1 ounce of silver. And that has to do with the amount of gold there is above ground. It's not 250,000 tons. It's more like 2 million tons. And the necessity and the scarcity of silver. Warren Buffett could sneeze and buy every ounce on the COMEX available, and it'll go from $50 to infinity. We're not going to know the price of silver probably coming into the new year. I just posted a discussion on the private road at roadtoruta.com with Jenny Moonstone. We talk about the $50 when I think it's going to hit and when she thinks it's going to hit, and then next year a little bit. And it's a good time, shall I say, for you silver investors. Now, I'm not saying they can't click a mouse and put the price of silver to minus $40 like they do with oil. They can, absolutely. But that would just show the fraud that is the COMEX. These people are criminals, and they're not going to go down without a fight. So I do expect some attempted slam down. But this was one of them. The CFTC is trying to pull their own games. The old games won't work. The margin hike increase that drove the price of silver down, 9%. The last time it was fighting to get over a hurdle, didn't do anything to the price of silver. It made it go up. Because the people who are long versus the people who are short, they are long and they have deep, deep, deep pockets. Deeper than anybody even can fathom. It's time. It's silver's time to destroy the banking cabal. If you have a local guy, go to your local guy. Go hang out there, get to know your local guy, buy as much silver as he has, load up the truck. If you don't have a local guy, contact Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. Great guy. I've been working with him for years. You don't have to, no bullshit. Say, hey, can you give me your inventory list? I'm on the road to Ruta. Can you send me your inventory list? And then you just pick what he has in inventory. I like the pre-65 coinage. It should be a no-brainer to everybody. If you live in America. Get your sovereign coins. You gotta. Because they really can't nationalize those. They can't confiscate those, at least in the United States. I don't think they can confiscate anything because most people don't have any silver at all. They have a little gold now because the bankers brought up the price of gold 4 times its all-time high from 1980. Silver is still below its all-time high from 1980. We're not talking about, oh my God, it went from $50 to $60. It's amazing. I'm going to sell my silver. You can't give me a scenario where I'm going to sell my silver. I don't care if it goes down to $40, minus $40. I don't care if it goes to $1 million. What am I going to put it in? Well, I'll probably buy some Theta fuel and get a whole bunch of boosters going for the future. But silver is wealth. Where else are you going to hold your wealth? Gold or silver, and gold is massively, massively, massively in abundance. All right, here's the old game is clearly running away from the bankers. They're still short, not as much. We'll find out today with the Commitment of Traders report that comes out after the close. But, I mean, we are so far head and shoulders above the moving averages, which are $34.58 and $37.47. There's no going back there. There's no going back below $40. And when we blow by $50 and hold above 50, they might try to slam it down and play some games, but that'll be the floor of silver for the rest of the life of the U.S. dollar, which might not be long. And people say, "Oh yeah, the U.S. dollar is going to go down." No, it's not going down against other currencies, and that's how it's measured. Fiat money is fiat money. All countries right now are printing and not telling anybody. The U.S. has just been doing it for longer. And if you don't believe me, listen to our buddy Elon Musk. Listen to what he says. This is when he had this discussion, and then he left Doge right after this.
So I call it magic money computer, any computer which can just make money out of thin air. That's magic money.
So how does that work?
It just issues payments.
And you said there's something like 11 of these computers at Treasury that are sending out trillions in payments?
They're mostly at Treasury. Some are, but there's some at HHS, some there's one or two at State, there's some at DOD. I think we found now 14 magic money computers.
14, okay.
They just send money out of nothing.
There you go. That is creating money out of thin air. Now, remember, we're not on a gold standard. We're not on a silver standard. We're not on any standard. We're on a faith and confidence standard. And the U.S. government creating trillions and trillions of dollars, not telling anybody, not reporting it anywhere, just creating it by spending it into existence. Catherine Austin Fitts found $21 trillion Or I think it went up to 28 and then it went to 100 trillion when she looked at the bond market. This is what we're dealing with. That's why, yeah, $10,000 silver is probably likely at some point. But this is not just the United States. When you see on the financial news, they talk about the value of the dollar is going up and down. That's just in relation to other unbacked fiat currencies. That's all it is. No, there's not going to be another, the U.S. made the U.S. dollar the world's reserve currency by forcing the rest of the world to buy oil originally. That's 1970, 71 when Kissinger and Greenspan went over to Saudi Arabia and enforced them, set up a deal. It was great for the sheiks of Saudi Arabia. They got rich. But, if anybody was trading oil for not U.S. dollars, we'd bomb them. That's the United States of America that we weren't told about. Read John Perkins' book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. It was like a #1 bestseller for a long time. That's your country. And that's what we need to get away from. I think we are getting to a point where Trump's going to let the manipulation end and see what comes of it. $3 quadrillion worth of derivatives will come collapsing down. Big day coming up. I hear all the military generals are meeting. I think it's on Tuesday, the last day of the fiscal quarter. Oh, by the way, remember Cliff High's data? He's got something happening next week. It's going to be massive. He thinks it's aliens related. I think it's the collapse of the old system. And then what do we do? That's always been the question. Do we turn to Scott Bassett, the henchman, the money runner for George Soros, who is now our Secretary of the Treasury? We live in such a bizarre world. Get your physical silver. Get the cryptos you want for the future. Get them in your own possession. Don't look at price, and you'll be fine. Maybe. Depending on if you have to go mobile, that's not so great for silver. Hopefully you can come back to where you are and dig your hole in the ground or wherever you keep your silver. Hopefully. I hope it doesn't get that bad, but it could. Everybody's talking about the 3-eye Atlas. It's not a comet coming in at us. It's supposedly intelligently controlled. It emits its own light. It slows down and speeds up. We'll find out, right? Hey, there's nothing you can do about it. No reason to be scared. If it's aliens coming to blow up, traveling halfway across the universe to blow up the United States of America and the rest of the world, that's fine. It's going to happen. We're all going to die anyway. It would be, what a ride, right? What a ride. I don't think it's that, but who knows? We'll find out. All right. What else did I want to talk about? Again, get your physical silver. I think we're running into unobtainium very soon. After $50, I don't see. There's no technical stopping it. After holds the base of $50, there's no technical reason it should go back, because they're talking about a double cup and handle back from 1980, and all the tech traders are like, holy crap, we've never seen this large of a setup for a moonshot. And when you hold the price of silver below its true fair market value, if it was traded, you get misallocation of the silver. So all these industries built up because they had free and cheap and easy silver. Obviously the solar industry, electric cars, computers, technology stuff. It all became so massive, and we throw out flat screen TVs with a couple ounces of silver in it because silver's so cheap. It should have never been like that. So we're going to see, as silver moves up over $100, over $1,000, we're going to see the ending of certain technologies. They got to figure out another, they could use copper, I guess. Copper corrodes pretty easily when in the solar world. There are new technologies that use a lot less silver for solar, so maybe they'll get there, but that has to do with changing out manufacturing lines and thousands of production facilities. There's thousands of production lines for solar panels, and I'm telling you right now, these new technologies are coming, but they're not being implemented because none of these solar companies have the money to do it. They're not going to change what they're doing. They're lucky to stay alive right now with such cheap solar panel costs. Anybody who says, oh, yeah, they're thrifting all the silver out, bullshit. It's going down, sure. It's going down at maybe 5 to 10% every year. But the problem is, the first half of this year, we're up 64% in the amount used. Amount of solar panels installed. So how is Silver Institute and Metals Focus going to just dance around this one again? They did the same thing in 2023. We were up 76%, and they only said we went up 30% or 35%. It's a lie, by half. So how much, well, I read a report yesterday. How much silver is going into solar? Well, yesterday the report said, this is on the silver paste side, 6,500 tons have already gone into, this year, gone into solar. 6,500 tons, which is 300 and something million ounces. Wait, the Silver Institute says there's only 197 million ounces going to be used this year. Gus, it's insane. Get your physical silver and let them work out the numbers. Yeah, but this is hysterical. This came out, this is effective today. It came out yesterday. Last time they did this, again, right here, the price of silver fell 9%. What is it doing now? It's basically flipping off the COMEX, the CME controllers. Now they're in deep shit. They're going to change as much as they can on the COMEX. They'll probably raise it to 50% margin, then 100% margin. Then they'll say, like they did with the Hunt Brothers, okay, only sellers, no buyers. It doesn't matter this time. Silver has run away from the riggers. And by the way, if you didn't know, the short position of SLV jumped by over 24 million ounces in the last report. Look at that right there. From 34 million, shares, excuse me. You're supposed to be an ounce for a share, but it's not exact because they take silver out of it. But it's pretty much 58 million ounces that were supposed to be deposited into SLV are not going to be deposited because they were shorted, because they don't have the physical metal. So how high is the SEC going to allow this short position to go with SLV? I don't know. And is it a sign that there's a huge slam coming? Well, things aren't the same this year. It's completely different. As we see, the margin hike didn't do a thing. We're going to see the Commitment of Traders report come out for last week, ended Tuesday. I can tell you what it'll be. So all you got to do is go to last week, which would be ending Tuesday the 23rd, and then go back a week. So we're right in here at $44. Go back a week to the Wednesday. Hold on. Tuesday is about $44. And then go back a week. Pretty scientific, huh? So it went from $42 to $44. That implies in the past that the commercial Big Four and Big Eight will increase their short position. We'll find out. We'll find out today. If they didn't, all bets are off. Somebody did. If they did, then they're short even more, and that's just rocket fuel. If I am correct, and there is like massive big money at the end of this, forcing this to happen. And we'll find out at, I don't know what time they posted, midday. I think the markets close 10, something early, I think on Fridays. Not quite sure. So we're up near 46. Like I said, there's no technical resistance between 40 and 50. 50, you have, that's the moonshot. That's they've brought the rocket up and they sit it on 50 and poof. Once it gets to 50 and holds 50, we could very much see a meltdown of the entire system. What happened this year? Go check out the Jenny Moonstone discussion that her and I had. Pretty interesting stuff. Don't forget, Putin's advisor warns the U.S. conspiracy to wipe out $35 trillion in debt, including crypto and gold market. That is, yeah, of course, the end of the fiat money is going to wipe out every price that you know, because no exchanges will even be open. We won't know the price of crypto when the system falls apart. And it has to fall apart, or the bad guys win. It's that bad. So, yeah, I do think at some point we're just going to have to hang on to what you got. You won't know the price of silver or gold or crypto or any stock or bond or anything. And that's the meltdown of the banking cabal. And clearly Trump's going after him. There was, I don't know if you guys saw this. Tricolor is getting busted for fraud. A huge subprime auto lender, and who's their banker? Bank of JP Morgan Chase. So could it be that next week Trump is going to take down JP Morgan Chase with the Epstein stuff? He's taking down Comey already. He's calling all his generals in. That's the reason that Trump hasn't done much on the Epstein side, because you're going to take down the largest derivative bank on the planet, JP Morgan Chase, who was head over heels involved with it, not only supplying the money, but partnerships. And, we know the rest. Interesting, just yesterday, Trump signed executive order enforcing the death penalty laws in the District of Columbia to deter and punish the most heinous crimes. That's pretty heinous crimes, and what Jamie Dimon has done, and Comey and the Clintons and Obama and all that. That'll be interesting. And this is all coming out before Trump, Hegseth has summoned all the generals and admirals of all the armed forces to Washington on Tuesday. For Virginia. They're going to one of the military bases, probably with an underground bunker. So who the hell knows what's going to go on? Hang on to your hats. So that's we've determined a day to end the silver coin giveaway. We're going to end it on Tuesday, the end of the fiscal year for the United States. By the way, nobody even's talking about passing the budget. That it should be obvious to everybody that there will never be another budget passed again in the United States. I know it's crazy, right? But it's Tuesday. It has to be done. They're not even meeting on it. So they're not going to pass a budget. And then can they get their shit together after they fall down on their face? No, they can't. I don't think. That's when we see some serious shit. So we are ending the Silver Rudicoin giveaway on Tuesday, the last day of September 2025. It's a very cool coin. You got to get yours today. We don't sell them. We give them away with private road subscriptions. 1-year subscription is $2.99, less than $1 a day. And we mail this to your front door. Double struck, rooted, jumping up and down on the Silver Brick Road through the Grand Canyon, little cave of gold there in the Grand Canyon. Exciting times if you're on the road rooted. So click on subscribe today and get your Grand Canyon Rudicoin while you can. This is Big Swear. I'll talk to you later.